Hey all, it's Jacob here with Altitude Coffee Company. I think it's another time for an update. So what in the world have we been up to since our last video? Well, we've been kind of at the drawing board. So there's a number of reasons that this has happened. So for example, when we initially started, as you know, and you've seen the video probably, is I thought that we were going to be building like a wooden box off of the back of an old Land Rover pickup truck, and I was going to be serving out of that. And while it was a good idea, and maybe in the future there would be something akin to that, one of the main barriers to it, as you saw in the last video, was the amount of weight that was going to be on the back of that pickup bed, and it just was not going to be feasible for a number of reasons. One of them was that the truck just couldn't hold the weight. So you probably saw another video where instead of that, I actually sold that truck and traded it in for a brand new Land Rover Defender. So then the idea started moving into, okay, now we're going to buy out an empty travel trailer, convert it, and then pull that coffee truck with the brand new Land Rover. And we'd go to, like a number of spots here in Seattle, surrounding areas, maybe like hiking sites. A good idea, and we probably think that there's something to be said for that in the future. That is, there might be a coffee truck that actually arrives. The issue there is cost. And the cost associated with that is, for a starting business, it could be astronomical. And you might think, okay, well, have you looked into small business loans and things like that? And really what we came across, and I've talked to a number of banks and credit unions, is that nobody's lending out money right now. And part of the reason for that is 2020. So what happened was, there was a lot of small businesses, as you all know, that, unfortunately did not make it due to the pandemic and a number of other reasons. Is now less incentivized or less likely to provide a small business with startup funds in order to actually make that happen. So the way that you can do it is by having a large chunk of change that you can throw at it right in the beginning. And unfortunately, we're just not in the position to do that. So this whole last sort of month, 30, 45 days, we've been thinking, well, my gosh, it's been a series of what we're calling successful failures. And those failures, I think, have really catapulted us to the correct position. And as you know, barriers really come in all shapes and sizes, and they could arise when you're trying to start a business, when you're going through school, or we don't have to get super philosophical, but I'm sure that you've experienced that in your own life. So our barriers, to summarize, it's been weight of the truck, so not actually having the equipment necessary to carry out an idea. Another barrier has been just overall cost. And another one is, how in the world do you find somebody that aligns with your vision, with your brand, with your idea of what you would like your business to be? And how are you going to get that person to assist you in roasting your coffee beans so that you can go out and you can make this? And thankfully, being in the PNW, there's plenty of people that align with who we want to be and what our brand is and what we want to communicate to everybody. So if you have spent some time on our social media, you've probably seen that our brand is really 3 pillars. We really want to encourage people to slow down. We're all rushing through our life. We're hurry up and wait. That's what our culture does. It pushes us into that, and we want to be the antithesis of this by encouraging people to slow down. And of course, being I would say a rather outdoor type of individual, I want to be able to encourage people to go outside. So I want to inspire you to go outside and to be outdoors and to adventure. And lastly, the third pillar is, I want to be able to gather up the resources that we're going to be receiving from this business and to push those resources into a number of places so that we can invest and we can give back into those locations that you have been inspired to go outside and enjoy. So that's really our 3-pronged approach. And every decision that we make has to be on that brand. Otherwise, why in the world are we in business? Then we're just in it for the wrong reasons. So I want to encourage you to slow down, and we want to inspire you to go outside, and we want to be able to invest in those environments. So being able to find a roaster or a collection of other individuals that are aligning with that is a barrier, because that's not true. Many people have their own agendas, and sometimes it aligns with what it is that you want to do, and other times it doesn't. And you know what? That's okay. So that was one of the barriers, was finding a roaster. And we were thinking about this, and we're like, okay, if we hire a roaster and they can go through their entire process with their coffee brokers and like sourcing, fair trade beans and all of those ideas, and packaging it in a really sustainable and ethical way, and like that'll be okay, but that'll take time, right? And we thought, okay, if we really want to dive into this, if we really want to be, all about it, from the actual coffee plant itself all the way to you enjoying it, at your home or before you go out on your adventure day, like we need to have a hand in every single one of those steps. And the way that we thought about doing that was, well, why don't we just roast our own beans? So that is where we are right now. We have chosen to invest in a commercial grade coffee roaster, and we're super excited about it. We reached out to some of our, trusted friends and other individuals that I've met in my time down in Oregon, in Washington, spoken with a number of coffee roasters or individuals that work at these locations, and it all came back to one company, and it's called the San Franciscan. So if you are familiar with the coffee industry, you already know what I'm talking about. If you're not, we can't wait to show it to you. We purchased it about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And the great thing about them is they do everything here in the United States. They source good materials, they're local, and they build it as soon as you order it. So they don't build a surplus of these things and just big box sort of like ship them out to you, but instead they listen to you. We felt really comfortable with them over the phone and via communication, so we decided to purchase a San Franciscan coffee roaster, and that should be arriving in the next sort of 30-45 days, at which time we're going down to Bend, Oregon to meet with these individuals. They're going to teach us how to roast on these machines, and we're going to be students again. And as some of you know, spent some time in education, and I can't wait to be a student again, to learn, to educate all of you, and to show you all how we go through that process and what that really looks like. And we believe that having a hand on our roast is critical to a groundwork coffee business. We're gonna know about the relationships that we're developing. We are gonna know about the ethical sourcing of coffee beans, the sustainability that is involved in it, all of the fair trade. We're going to be communicating all of this to you, and we can't wait to, be students of the craft and to take you along with us. Another benefit of jumping in and actually doing our own coffee roasting is timing. So it was going to take us months and months and months, which is not a bad thing. But in terms of timing, it was going to take months on end to generate the income required to get this coffee trailer up and running. We would actually be likely looking at sometime in 2022. And for us, that's just not good enough. We want to be able to come out and inspire you as quickly as possible. And this was one of the best ways that we can do that. And we expect to be having learned and developed our own espresso and a couple of other roasts by fall of 2021. And we can't wait to share that with you. So how in the world can I follow along this? How can I look for updates? Where are these things going to be posted? And of course, the YouTube channel, promise it's going to be more consistent because we have a ton of content to go over. So all of my failures, all my successful failures, all of those things that we're going to be going through as we're developing this, learning how to operate this unique piece of equipment, going to go through that, educate you there, show you how to make drinks, all those things. But our website, so I've almost launched the website. Actually, it is, Sunday here at the beginning of August. So the website is gonna launch with some interesting content at the end of this week. So you gotta hold me to it. It's gonna launch. So in there, you'll find some history about us, a little about me section, a really forward-thinking area of that website that I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You're just gonna have to go and take a look at it, and you'll be able to find updates there. Our social media, so our Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. And I can't wait for you to be a part of it. So thank you so much for, one, being patient, for the people that have already been a part of our journey thus far. I just want to thank you so much. It's a challenging thing to be able to start your own business. And it's a privileged position that we're actually in, where we can say, okay, we have enough resources to say, this is what inspires us, and we want to be able to share this with you. Like, that's a unique position, and not a lot of people are able to do that. And it's hard to do so, even if you do have the means, because my personal, how would I describe this? My tendency would be to generate the plan up front, like to the T, A to Z, have all the gear, have all the equipment, and then launch it all at once and just hope everything works and not have a backup plan. Okay, so that's my tendency. It's to over plan, which is not a bad thing to plan. Okay, don't get me wrong there. But I had found myself being trapped by planning. There was too much planning and there was no action. And with this company, being in this privileged position, for whatever reason, we have been inspired by people that have already gone through it, that have shown us love, that have supported us, that has provided words of encouragement. And that really transitioned my thinking from being a full-on planner with no action to let's have a plan, but let's actually take action. So let's go and do, right? And this idea of just going and doing and failing as fast as you possibly can, which we have done so many times already in this business, and we don't even have a product to sell yet. Even in the developmental stage, there's just been so many unique and successful failures. And the word usually has a negative connotation, but I think in this case, it is facilitative. It is pushing us towards being successful and being able to bring you along for what it is that we're doing. And we're thankful for those. And lastly, I would really just want to summarize this sort of this update video by saying eventually you're going to be in a scenario, if you choose to pursue something that is unique to you, that makes your heart sing, and that you feel inspired and driven by, where you're going to be like, what the hell am I doing? You're gonna think, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I can take another failure. I don't know if I can take another setback. It seems that every time I make progress, another barrier shows up, and I'm just like, can I just get something to go right? And there's gonna be a moment, and you're gonna be running your business, and you're gonna be out there, and you're gonna be thinking this, and somebody is gonna come up to you, and they're gonna look at you, and they're gonna say, you inspired me. They're gonna say, what you did, I followed your journey, and you inspired me to do something. You inspired me to go from that position of always planning to actually taking action. And they're gonna thank you for it. And then I think in that moment, all the doubt, all the frustration, all of the time sacrifices that you had to make, the financial burden, like all of those things, you're going to be thinking about those. And in that moment when they thank you, I think it's going to be worth it. And so far with us, the support that we're getting, all of the successful failures, they've been worth it. So I want to thank you so much for watching the video, for investing in us. You don't have to do this, right? Like, you are choosing to do this, and we thank you for it. So if you like what you're seeing and you're hoping to see more, you know what to do. Please like and subscribe to our channel, follow our Instagram @Altitude Company, and we can't wait to keep you updated. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.